No one was safe from Brian Cox's sharp tongue at HistFest 2024. The Succession star discussed everything from terrible films to politicians. But it didn't take long before Cox launched into a full-blown tirade about Braveheart. And let's just say he didn't hold back. Braveheart is a load of nonsense, Cox said bluntly. Mel Gibson was wonderful, but it's a load of lies. He never impregnated the French princess. It is a bollocks, that film. As for the historical accuracy of Braveheart, Cox isn't wrong. Here are just a few of the most glaring errors in the film. William Wallace's backstory, completely fictional. The title, Braveheart, that actually belonged to Robert the Bruce, not Wallace. Wallace didn't start a war over his wife. That's pure Hollywood. The clothing and weaponry are way off for Wallace's time. Even the battles are inaccurate. But despite all of this, Braveheart remains hugely popular, earning $213 million worldwide on a $72 million budget. It holds a 76% critics score on Rotten Tomatoes, and even Roger Ebert called it an ambitious film, big on simple emotions like love and patriotism. But what do critics know these days, right? Cox clearly isn't impressed by modern-day movie critics either, saying that most critics are stupid. They really are. You think of those wonderful critics of the past. There's nobody to match them now, because they don't do their homework. Still, it's not just critics. The movie also stands at 8.3 out of 10 on IMDb and 85% audience score on Rotten Tomatoes. So, if Braveheart is so historically inaccurate, why is it still so beloved? The answer is simple. It's entertaining. It's a well-made, highly engaging escapist ride. And for that alone, fans can forgive a lot. Sword fights, epic speeches, and let's face it, the battle scenes don't hurt either. Take Gangs of New York, for example. Wildly inaccurate? Absolutely. But it's still a great film that many of us enjoy over and over. Even Martin Scorsese acknowledged the semi-fictional nature of the book it was based on. Or take Elizabeth, released in 1998. One of the most historically inaccurate films out there, but it's still loved for its acting and production value. Fans often overlook inaccuracies when a film feels real enough or when they just don't know enough history to care. So why did Braveheart win over both clueless audiences and critics, even snagging Best Picture at the Oscars? Because Hollywood loves a good historical action film with big battle scenes. That's a recipe for an Oscar nomination almost every time. Plus, it was the mid-90s. Dances with Wolves, Glory. Hollywood couldn't get enough of these epic war films until CGI battles took over with The Return of the King. And let's not forget, the film starts with a disclaimer. Historians will tell you a different story. From the jump, Braveheart wasn't meant to be a history lesson. It was all about storytelling, and in that sense, it was honest from the start.